So you're our bonus for the day. So tell us a little bit about who you play.
So I play Ella Lopez, and I'm the new forensic scientist on the team. She hails from Detroit. She's, thank you. She has older brothers, and she is super smart. She dances to her own beat because she actually is fascinated with bodies, dead or alive. And but she's really smart. There's a million things going on in her head. So sometimes she might speak non sequitur, but it's only because all the synapses are firing at all cylinders. And what I love about this role is because I love representing women in science, especially women of color. So on RoboCop, I thought, why can't this woman be really brilliant? And it was like this big movie with Michael Keaton and Gary Oldman, and I loved that she was this scientist. And I feel like on the small screen, especially for me, it's really important, like the Latino community and like women of color, to just see themselves as smart, professional, a little goofy, and very professional, and just loving what they do, and funny, because that's what women are. We're all of those things. Sometimes we're more one thing than the other, and so I feel like she is a completely three-dimensional character, and I love her sense of humor. It's very similar to Lucifer's. They both love to. She loves to play as much as Lucifer does, but she's not judgmental at all. She's very open, she's very inviting, she's very warm, she's very intrigued by humanity, and in turn, Lucifer is very intrigued by her because she's a woman of faith, so she's constantly wearing her cross, and God has never let her down. So for her, God is such a staple, and for him, God is such daddy issues. So I compare it to like a rock star, where a rock star could be an inspiration to millions of people around the world, but to their own kids might not be the best father. So I feel like in this world, God is like, to her, she's like, God is the man, and it's just as simple. And for him, he's like, but he was never really there. He abandoned me. So I feel like it's a really fun dichotomy. He's very intrigued by her, and she's also very she doesn't treat him with kids' gloves. So I literally invade his space constantly. I'm constantly giving them the old pat in the back. I'm hugging him. I did a take where I didn't even tell him that I was going to do it, and it was his close-up, and I just went up and hugged him. I was like, what's going on? Like when we first met, and Tom was such a brilliant actor. He just continued to do the scene, and he was a little bit confused as to why this grown lady just hugged him, and then we cut, and I looked timidly, and he's like, I loved it, that was great. So I feel like she's a character that treats him like no other character, because she just completely invades his personal space, and for some reason he just finds it intriguing and kind of lets her go with it. So that's all I can say now. There will be more, which I'm very excited about, but I'm not at liberty to say. But she is, she's a total badass, man. She rocks out to music while she's looking at slides, and she's really comfortable with bones, and she's constantly wearing her gloves, and she's not scared of burned bodies. I mean, she's just super cool and a little goofy.
Can you talk about your character's relationship with other characters on the show?
Yes. So the other thing I actually love about this is that her relationship, there's so much female love on this show. So there's no animosity between Chloe and Ella, and you would think new girl comes on a show, when I came on as the new girl in Dexter, it was oh, is there going to be, and there was a little bit at Loggerheads with Jennifer Carpenter's character on that show. But what I love about the show is that there's two professional women who really respect each other. Chloe's her boss, and she's very cognizant of that. And then I think Trixie and her are on the same page. My character is a very playful character, and she almost has a childlike quality to her. So her and Trixie, boom, they both watch the same Nickelodeon shows and whatnot. And then Kevin Alejandro's character, Dan and her, they're very professional with each other. And then so far I haven't really met any angels yet, but I hear that that's about to change. My character is very light, so she brings light and no self-consciousness into this world of second guessing, and you know, Chloe's very guarded because she's been damaged, and Ella is so the opposite, like sings at work, dances at work, and it's such a fun thing to do as an actor, because if I feel like ending a scene doing a move, I just like do my move, you know what I mean? And I'm like, it could work for Ella. So I'm so excited to be part of the show, and yeah, she's a trip.